Hi, I'm Maddie, creative designer and illustrator. I am going to show you how to design and animate an illustration on your iPad using Linearity Curve and Linearity Move. In today's episode, I will focus on the first part of this tutorial, creating a vector illustration on your iPad using Curve. Let's start by setting up our document on Curve. To create a new document, I click the plus button on the home screen. I can set a custom resolution or pick one of the available presets in the library. I create a new layer and import my sketch from the side panel. I set the layer's opacity to 20% and I move it to the top of the layer panel. I create a new layer and I move it underneath the sketch. I select the shape tool, change color and create an oval. I duplicate the oval and combine the two shapes using Unite. I adjust the anchor points and complete the shape of my character's face. I draw a smaller oval to create the ear. I duplicate the shape, reflect it vertically, and position it on the other side of the face. I select the pen tool and tap on the screen to draw a new shape. I change the color to a dark blue. I double tap on a point to change the node to form a curved line. I copy the shape and reflect it. Then I position it on the other side of the head. With the pen tool, I draw the other parts of the fringe. I double tap a point when I want to transform the node into a curved line. I use the shape tool to create a big oval. I duplicate the shape, move it, and combine the two shapes to form the back of the head. I use the pen tool to trace the waves of the hair. To trace a curve with the pen tool, I tap and drag the handles of the node to create a bigger curve. I copy and paste the shape, reflect it and move it to the other side. I combine all the dark shapes that form the hair. I send the new shapes behind the face and ears. To draw the eye, I use the pen tool again. I change the base color of the eye to white. With the shape tool, I draw a blue oval. Then I draw a star. And change the number of points to 4. I select the blue oval and the white star and use the quick action menu to align them to the center. I copy and paste the white base of the eye and with the scissors tool, I cut the path of the shape to create two separate paths. I need to delete all the points of the lower half. I change the stroke of the top part, select a dark color and change the line caps to rounded. Just like this, I created a stylish eyeliner. I select the pupil and the base of the eye and create a mask. Now the pupil is inside the boundaries of the eye. With the pen tool, I trace the outline of the eyelid and the eyebrow. When I'm done, I group all the elements composing one eye section. I copy and paste the group and mirror it to the other side. I draw a big oval and I use the scissors tool to cut the bottom part to use for the mouth. I delete the top part and I use the same trick to create the dimples. I use the pen tool to draw the lips and change the color to bright pink. With a few points, I also draw a line for the nose. I select the brush tool and I draw the curve to the inner part of the ear. I change the stroke style and width. I can also edit the points one by one. Once I'm happy with the shape, I copy and paste it on the other side. I draw a white ring and a big oval for the pearl, which I change to a teardrop shape. I use the pen tool to add details to the hair. To add the blush to the cheeks, I draw a big oval and I change the color to a pink gradient. I use the brush tool to draw the wavy hairpins. I use a pen tool to draw the neck and body of the character. I change the color to draw the clouds. I add the details with the thick line. To draw the laptop, I use the shape tool to create a rectangle. To change the perspective of this shape, I select a single point and I move it along the bottom line. With the pen tool, I trace the star patterns of the jumper. When I'm done, I change the stroke color. I select all the stars and the pink shape and I create a mask. For the logo of the laptop, I start with an oval white shape. I combine them and then I change the points to create the shape of a fruit. With the brush tool, I create a wavy line that crosses the fruit shape. I create a new layer for the background. I hide the other layers and activate the grid. I use the pen tool to draw a zigzag line using the squares as guidelines. Then I select all the points at the top and increase the corner radius to the max to transform it into a smooth wave. I change the color of the shape, I rotate the wavy shape and make it bigger to cover part of the canvas. I draw a rectangle and I use it to create a mask that contains the wavy shape. I duplicate the wave and change the style to a dark line. Once I'm done, I copy and paste this group and reflect it to the other side. Now it's time to add space elements to the background. I use the shape tool to draw circles and stars. I combine two ovals to cut out the shape of a moon. I copy and paste 6-point stars and smaller 4-point stars to complete the background. I combine two ovals to create the shape of an ellipse around the big planet. And I rotate it. I add a big oval with a pink gradient to it. As a final touch, I add the gradients with bright colors to the round planet. And this is the final result, a magical vector illustration entirely drawn on my iPad using Linearity Curve, ready to be animated. Subscribe so you don't miss the next episode of this tutorial, where I will show you how to bring this illustration to life using Linearity Move. This is the end of today's art tutorial. Thank you for following along. I hope that this video helps you in your art journey. Have you ever tried vector art before? Let me know in the comment section below. Like and subscribe for more magical art tutorials. Ciao!